Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Open Book. One of the parts I love about what this episode is going to be is when we start talking to the team members that make up BILLY Footwear. And today we're very blessed to be able to have my fellow co-founder sharing the screen with me. And it's going to be more of a conversation on tech talk, on how these shoes get put together, the design process, and what we got cooking. So without further ado, let's bring in Darin. Hello, Darin.
Oh, hey there. Great to see you again. How long has it been?
It's been a while. Last time you were on the episode, it was Tech Talk. It was in November, and it was when we were just launching the WDR.
That's right.
I got to say, Darin, it's always I love doing these episodes with you for Tech Talk, but it's also I love it because it really it forces us to reflect on how far we've come.
Yeah.
Because when we first started this thing, it's like the conversation that you and I had, it was in December of 2011. We formed this business really in February, or it was in December 2011, February of 2012.
Right.
We made our first prototype in 2015. We landed in big stores in August of 2017. And at that time, it was just kids, which then expanded into toddler and adults, and then wider SKUs. And then the last time you were on the show was for the launch of the WDR, which is a wider kid shoe. So it's amazing how much time is like flowed under the bridge, but it's just been a fun ride. And I'm excited to have you back on the show to be able to talk about what's going on.
Yeah, most definitely. And it was quite a staggering there at the beginning of the partnership, but then things have ramped up quickly. Except for being on Open Book with you. I guess that staggered a little bit, but it seems just like yesterday. But a lot has happened since then. Like you were talking about, we had launched the WDR shoe, which was adding width, depth, and then a more tear-resistant lining. And it's been absolutely amazing, as you know. It's never a perfect solution for everyone, but we were trying to encompass and have it be a great solution for as many people as possible. And I think we've done a good job with that. And the exciting part is it's only going to improve from here. And I know there's a lot of other exciting things to talk about that are coming out soon, and then also for next year and beyond. So excited to talk a little bit about that today, and just to be back on Open Book.
Well, one thing about the WDR is as we emerged into the market, we were getting just tremendous amount of feedback from the customer. And it was really like when we came to AFOs, it's like the functionality worked, but that wasn't the inspiration behind the brand. But there was no denying that the functionality was working for braces. But a lot of folks out there, they just needed a wider shoe. So being able to accommodate that, it was really exciting. But unfortunately, like with any request, we want to be able to just snap the fingers and make that happen instantaneously. But it is quite a process. So I was hoping you could kind of walk us through kind of the process of what it takes to conceptualize a shoe and then actually bring that thing to market.
Yeah. So if we're starting from scratch, we usually start out with just a rendering. So I personally am not great at sketching by hand, but I can do it on the computer. So I start in Illustrator that a lot of people out there know about, and just put together some ideas. And it's amazing, you'll put together 20 different versions and like one or two will pop out at you once you just kind of take a step back. So that's the first step in the process. And then you go then into the detail of the outsole. Like what are the details there? Because where you really are originally going to start when you do submit for development, there's a shoe last that you need to consider. Now, this is an old school one that an old cobbler would use, but it's a similar type of a deal where it's essentially the shape of the foot that the shoe will be built around, the upper of the shoe. So you start there. If it's a new one, you're going to go through the process of developing that, which will take 2 to 3 weeks. But if it's an existing one, you can start right away on what the next step would be, which is looking into creating the mold for the outsole construction. So in this case, with the inclusion one, we have a midsole and then an actual outsole. So that those are two different components, but we have molds made for both of those. And so you submit the renderings for that, which is much more technical. So it's more of a tech drawing that you would use in CAD form. And then that creates the blueprint, if you will, to then develop that mold. Once you then do that, that takes about 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how smoothly the process goes. From there, you build out the upper accordingly. So that's the upper would be what's blue here. And that is a quicker process and easier to modify. So it's usually about 3 weeks later, you'll have a sample since we already had the mold and the outsole here to build off of with the upper around the last. So all said and done, that's the steps to get to the point where you can get a confirmation sample and then go and place production. Once you place production, it takes 90 days from the production date to being able to ship. And then in a normal pre-COVID world, it would be roughly 20 to 30 days on the water if you're overseas to ship and have it arrive in the US. Now, this day and age in COVID times, it can take 60 to 90 days, which I think we're all seeing and knowing, at least in our world, it's just causing a lot of delays, but that's just the entire length of the process. So when customers reach out and have suggestions, we definitely listen. We love the feedback. We're not going to be able to implement everything, but what we do decide to implement, it's going to be a 6 to 12 month process before it's even realistic for us to have it land. And that's even if you're just taking something up, say our sport inclusion one, if we were to go to adults, you still have to go through that process. It'll be a little bit smoother because there's already things that you're kind of just developing in bigger sizes, but it still is roughly that same time frame.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a while. I mean, it's interesting how, like, when you're making a shoe, it seems like the actual manufacturing part of it is like the shortest step, but there's so much tremendous lead to get up to that point.
Right.
And now with today, after it's done, I mean, you could just sit there and you're waiting and waiting and waiting just to get your spot in the line to be able to get on a boat. Fingers crossed it stays on the boat, and then to be able to get across the water and
Right.
or wherever you're manufacturing, and then to be able to like work it on this end to be able to get it on a truck to the retail partners as well as into our own shop. So, I mean, I love these ideas that come in. We really want to snap our fingers, but you're right. 6 to 12 months. I mean, that's spot on.
And believe me, I want a lot of the kids' shoes we have in adults, but it's just unfortunately not realistic yet. As we mature as a brand, we'll be a little bit more broad in that offering, but we're getting there. So I'm pretty excited to continually expand and take up some of these styles that I know people have been asking for in adult size.
Well, the big thing is the newest one on the block now, in our catalog is that Inclusion One that you were just showing, where it's an athletic sneaker. Yes, we have the jogger, but that particular shoe, I mean, it does incorporate newer technology to it. So I was hoping you kind of point out some elements.
Yeah, so I'll just show real quick. As most people know, our Classic and WDR have what we refer to here as our full wrap zipper configuration, meaning that it wraps around the toe, the entire upper opens. What we incorporated in the Inclusion One is what we call our short wrap zipper configuration, to where it wraps around and opens up above the toe box. Now, we did that for a variety of reasons. One, it allows for that natural toe shape in an athletic shoe. It also allows for the breaking point when you're running to be below where the zipper would come across. So there's no interruption with the zipper when it comes to you actually using it as a performance running shoe. But what's really exciting is that it has proven to work very well, and we're incorporating it in additional sport product that is looking out for next spring, which is I'm really excited about because it's incorporating basketball and court shoes. So tennis shoe, etc. And then also in development, that's a little bit later, we have a cross sport turf shoe that it will be useful for kids to use on field and off field. So it's really exciting. They're all going to incorporate this short wrap zipper. And yeah, it's a really cool development that I know we're all excited about.
Yeah. Well, there's two components within that shoe that I love. I mean, there's everything you said I love, but there's two that I like to call out now. One is, and it's so minuscule, and I don't think you necessarily need to pick up on it, but it's the toe. I mean, it's how that thing was molded. It's actually molded. Like the toe part goes up. That's part of the mold, which allows it to be reinforced, which I think we haven't had that opportunity before.
Right.
And the other thing too. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that was something that we were excited about. I know you and I discussed when we were developing this, is to make sure this is part of the shape of the rubber outsole, and that's going to be more rigid and hold its shape and do great for those that have the toe impact,
Right.
For the end user. So
right. And the other thing I love about that shoe is just how it incorporates all of our branding elements, but two, the same type of functionality we have with the other shoes. Whereas the laces, they're functional, so you still have the ability to adjust the fit. We still have the branding elements to talk about the forward movement. Right. So we haven't lost any of that. It's just a different zipper configuration for a different type of performance.
Right. And I don't know if you can see on the camera, but the chevron stripes on the sidewall, I mean, I think they just turned out great. It's rare when things turn out exactly as I had designed, but it actually did. And so it's really exciting. And then of course, incorporating that on the tread as well. And like you said, the functional laces is always great for a proper fit, and really important because we wanted this to be an actual performance type of a running shoe, since we already had our kind of classic retro jogger that's more lifestyle.
Yeah.
And speaking of the jogger, I'm really excited that we came out with toddler sizes finally. I mean, how adorable are those things?
I am so glad you brought that up, because I had forgotten that is a talking point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was when those came in. I may have been the first customer for my own kiddo. And oh man, he got the charcoal jogger size, toddler size 9. And oh baby, he loves those things.
Yeah. I don't have any here to show, but trust me, people, adorable. They're amazing. So.
And they're so lightweight. I mean, I picked it up. It was almost like I was going to throw it in the air. It was so darn light.
Yeah, they're feathers. So it's pretty cool. That's definitely exciting. And
so that's another great example of expanding the line. I know that. Can you talk about the WDR? How we're expanding in that category?
Yeah. So WDR. One, we're expanding colorways. So for the holiday, we're coming out with some fun prints that are a little bit more for the girls, because we knew we had to launch with core colors, which is more unisex, and maybe leans a little more boy as far as those colors and prints. So very excited for that. But on top of that, we're coming out with now multiple widths. So we're going to have a medium width, the wide width here with the WDR, and then an extra wide. And it's going to be, I think, an amazing game changer, because we also offer our singles program. You'll be able to match up with, if you need a medium for your one half pair, a wide or an extra wide, or vice versa for the other half pair. I mean, it's going to be a great solution, and they'll all match colorways, materials that are being developed and produced at the same time. Really excited about it. And, we're just waiting on confirmation on the shipping that we talked about before. So it's kind of a moving target, but we know they're going to hit this fall. And just really excited for that.
Yeah. And likewise, more widths in the adult category.
That's right. Yes. So what we heard was width, more width for especially men, but women as well. And so we're coming out with, we already had in our comfort line, medium and wides, which would be for men, a D width, and then a triple E in the wide. And then we're coming out with a 6E for the extra wide. And then for women's, it's a medium width, that's a B, wide width a D, and then the extra wide for women will be a triple E. And that's across the comfort line that we currently have out there, which is really exciting. And I know I'm excited because my dad can now wear our shoes because he needs the 6E. So I'm pretty excited to drop off a pair for him when they arrive here this fall as well.
Dad, you will wear these, please.
Yes. Oh, he will. He's getting all colorways.
Well, we touched on it earlier, a customer offering feedback and making requests. And there's no denying that the top 2 requests, especially when we start entering the fall and winter months, have been rain boots and winter boots. Yes,
indeed. And they're about to arrive.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that. The rain boot. I don't want to, spoil the launch by showing them right now, but I'm really excited about that. I think our customers will be excited. We incorporated a little bit different zipper configuration to make sure that it's more water resistant, because having a zipper around the toe would be pretty tough to pull that off. But then with the winter boot, really exciting news. It got rated as a minus 40 degrees Celsius boot, which, folks in some parts of the US or down, in other international countries may not care, but in Canada, they're really excited.
No, you're totally right. I remember we were presenting to some of our friends down in Central America, and they're like, "Okay, I like the silhouette, and but I don't like temperature wise. I don't get it." And then you show it to those in the northern states of the U.S. or Canada. They're like, "Oh, they're just losing their minds."
Yeah.
Just like, "Oh my gosh, we've needed these things for so darn long."
Yeah, and I mean, we're really excited about those, and we put a lot of time and effort in the development. And I'm just excited to be able to finally deliver on some of these things that we were just kind of scratching our head at for a while, and we found the right, production partner, manufacturing partner to make it a reality. And just thrilled to get it out there and only improve upon it. And I'm pretty excited for the first generation because I think they're going to do very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, there's so much stuff in the pipeline, so many more. And then plus, like, with all that product, it's just awesome because every time we launch a new product or every time we just have inventory and whatnot, it's just a matter of like continuing to work with our amazing retail partners, working with our amazing customers, now working with all these collaborations with nonprofits, just to be able to, one, get the news out there that there's solutions, and just all these partnerships, word of mouth, continuing feedback from customers and whatnot. I mean, it's all part of the same sort of, forward motion that we as a giant Billy community are trying to move forward and add value. So
yeah, definitely. But before we close out, I do want to talk about something for spring that I know we've been racking our brains on: sandals. So we now, with the new short wrap zipper configuration, have figured out a way to launch with our first attempt at sandals. It's going to be a kind of I think it's called a fisherman style sandal. And we're really excited about it. We're launching because we are a lifestyle brand so it's going to be more of a lifestyle look, something that kids could wear, whether it's a girl in a summer dress or whatever, or a kid in shorts going to church, whatever it may be in the summertime and in those warmer areas around the globe. But just really excited to get that out there to test it and then evolve it from there, because we have plans to then evolve it into more of a sportier look that can be worn in the water, etc. So that's really exciting. That's going to be something coming out in the spring. But just thrilled to finally do that, because I know that's been requested for years. And for a while there, we're like, how do we do this?
Yeah. Well, no, that's a perfect example. And I love you pointed that out, because yes, it did come from customer feedback, request after request. And it was a puzzler. I mean, it definitely challenged us as a brand to try to sort out how to execute on that. And I mean, as the big man on product development, I mean, you sorted it out, and it's our starting point. So it's going to be super cool to see how that evolves.
Yeah, really excited for that and everything else we talked about. I mean, and again, all the feedback we can get is all welcome. We try to deliver on everything that we can, but just understand is we can't do everything, and it's going to take some time with the stuff we can evolve and try to do it right. That's another reason why it might take a little longer than everyone may want. So, yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, our success as a brand has really been hinged on all those relationships and all those partners and all that feedback and whatnot. So everyone out there that's listening and everyone else watching, it's you guys out there that really drive us as a brand to be able to allow us to step into these positions, to be able to, make these creations and bring these products to market. And I don't know, it's like we're all part of this big community, which community warms my heart, relationship warms my heart, adding value warms my heart. And, as a brand, I mean, Darin and I mean, dude, my friend, my fellow co-founder, thank you for pulling me into this world and, working on it together, and the rest of the team. I mean, we're going to keep doing amazing things.
Well, hey, man, it's my pleasure. It's really exciting. And I just thank yourself for embracing it. And I mean, I'm just excited to continue to do good things, provide solutions, and help to grow it. And I think our team that's growing is adding so much value to that and making it more of a reality to crank these things out and to come out with new solutions. It's just really exciting times. And it's just fun to have this going on in an uncertain time, to still be doing and creating some really good things. So very exciting. Just look forward to what we can do moving forward.
I couldn't agree more.
Right on.
Well, everyone out there listening, this was a special edition of Tech Talk, or I should say the special edition of Open Book featuring Tech Talk. So, Darin, we will not go another 9 months before you have back, because there's too many things in the pipeline that we're going to have you get back on the show pretty soon to be able to talk about all the other fun things.
Right on. Well, I look forward to it, man.
Okay, everyone else, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have another episode of Open Book next week. Until then, take care.